And we are back. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. And despite all of the COVID dramas, the Premier League just keeps rolling on. We have games every night until New Year's Eve, and then more games right through to the middle of January, be it Premier League, FA Cup, etc., etc. If you're new around here, the way this works is we run through my previous predictions for Boxing Day, and then we move on to the next game week to do our predictions. Drop a like if you enjoy this series. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into those Boxing Day predictions, and here they were. Obviously, the first three games were called off. Everything else went ahead, and these were the results. I said both occasions for Man City and Leicester that these games only go one of two ways. They're either very, very tight, low-scoring games, or very entertaining, full of drama, high-scoring games where either team could win. I predicted the former. It was the latter. An incredible 6-3. Looked like Leicester were going to pull off the impossible comeback, but then Man City just put their foot down a little bit more and got the job done in the end. Crazy game. Norwich and Arsenal, no real surprises, to be honest. I predicted 3-0, it was 5-0. It's very, very worrying times for Norwich. It seems the Dean Smith honeymoon period is now over. Yes, they do have injuries in key positions, but I think from a Norwich perspective, they're going to feel like they were beaten far too easily by Arsenal, and that's no disrespect to Arsenal. They're playing really well at the moment, but to lose 5-0 at home, I should know as a Manchester United fan, losing 5-0 at home is very, very embarrassing no matter who you're playing against. So, work to do for Dean Smith. Tottenham and Crystal Palace, I have to admit, when it was 2-0 and Zaha got sent off, I was getting a little bit worried for my prediction, but it did end up only being 3-0. It definitely could have been more. Lucas Moura put in a fantastic performance, and the fullbacks with Emerson Royal and Reguilon looking really, really good. Antonio Conte has embedded his three-back system seemingly perfectly now, and Tottenham are looking very good right now and look like they're going to be, well, minimum competing for top four. If they win all their games, I think they're only going to be something like 5 or 6 points behind Man City at the top, so you never know, they could still be in a title race. Arsenal fans won't like me for saying that, but it's just the way I see it at the moment. They're looking good. One team that was looking good for top four, but now looks like they're fizzling out, is West Ham. Despite Antonio getting his first goal in 10 games, it wasn't enough to stop Southampton getting the win. They seem to have hit a little bit of form again themselves, a couple of good results in their last couple of fixtures, and a win away at West Ham is a fantastic result for Ralph Hasenhüttl and his team. Potentially work to be done for David Moyes. Yes, they have a lot of defensive injuries, but that shouldn't excuse the way they played against Southampton there, and they'll be disappointed with that result. And so am I, because it means I don't get any points. Aston Villa and Chelsea was a very weird game to watch. Bizarre own goal from Reece James, and then just some horrendous defensive errors from Aston Villa. 2 penalties that just you shouldn't be conceding. Yes, the one for the third was a breakaway in the last minute and he's just hacked him down trying to get the ball. It happens, but the other penalty and Tyrone Mings on the Lukaku goal, very, very poor defending. You'd expect a lot better from Aston Villa defensively, but Chelsea took full advantage. They're going to have their confidence back, and is it too late for them to remount a title challenge? Possibly, but they're definitely going to be feeling confident going into their next fixture ahead of a really tough run for them. Brighton and Brentford. I can't really complain. Brighton do struggle to score, so I think the 1-0 prediction was justified. I couldn't see Brentford scoring against the way Brighton defend. They didn't. Did end up 2-0 thanks to 2 very good finishes from outside the box from Trossard and Mopai. And 2-0 win, so 1 point for me, 3 points for Brighton. And guess what? We got another Brighton prediction correct. Kinda. So we take it. And finally, we have last night's game, which didn't even finish 12 hours ago, and I've not recovered from it yet, if I'm honest. I just don't know what's wrong with us at the moment. You know, the jokes are going around, haha, now Ralph's at the wheel, but let's be honest, Ollie crashed the car, and Ralph's driving the pickup truck that's going to take the crashed car to the end of the season. Until we get a nice new car that will hopefully make everything better. But honestly, that performance last night was shambolic. I couldn't tell you one player that had a good game. I would say Dalot and Cavani had reasonably good games, but you can't say anyone was just good. So many lost possession, and a great performance from Newcastle as well. I think justification for how well they did play against Man City and Liverpool, despite the poor results for them in those games. And good signs for Eddie Howe. Yes, they've got a lot of work to do, but this is a good foundation to build on. Slight worry for them, though, with it looking like Saint-Maximin and Wilson could be out for a couple of weeks with some fixtures they would have earmarked as point winners. So, yeah. My only complaint is, as a Manchester United fan, that we should be doing better in that one. So, no points for me there. Gives me an overall game week score of 6 and a season score of 116. Let me know down in the comments how you got on. I think it was a reasonably tough week to predict, but you never know. Let's get into the midweek predictions, because the games are coming thick and fast, like I said. The last game finished less than 12 hours ago, and the next game kicks off in as little as 6 hours' time. So let's just get straight into it with the midweek predictions. And here are the games, and we're starting off with Arsenal and Wolves, which is called off. So it looks like there has been an outbreak within the Wolves camp, and considering they are the only club that is 100% double vaccinated, it tells you that even with the vaccinations, you are still not safe from this virus. But it seems like no one's actually got any symptoms, so it is what it is. But the 12:30 game today is off. The first game that is on, though, is Crystal Palace and Norwich. And I think realistically we all know this is only going to go, well, should only go one way from a predictions perspective. Dean Smith will think otherwise, but I'm going to go for a 3-0 Crystal Palace win. Yes, they are going to be missing Zaha, but it's an opportunity for other players to take their chance. And I know Crystal Palace had this record under Roy Hodgson where I think it was something like they only won one game out of, I think it was like 37 or something, where Zaha didn't play, or they only scored one goal in 10 games without him or something. But I think they've got a lot more quality in their squad now, and I think they'll be too much for Norwich. So 3-0 Crystal Palace win. Southampton and Tottenham is a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. If it wasn't for the fact that Southampton have just won at West Ham, I would be going for an easy Tottenham win here. But considering the fact they have played well in those last couple of games, I am going to be a bit more conservative. I'm still going to edge it to Tottenham because I've been very impressed with how they're playing under Conte. But I would not be surprised to see Southampton get a result here after how well they've played in the last couple of games. And speaking of how well Southampton have played, we move on to their defeated opponents, West Ham away at Watford, and I'm actually going to go for West Ham to lose again. I think Watford have the threat, and obviously Emmanuel Dennis is on fire at the moment for them. Will the break affect their momentum? Potentially. But I'm going to edge this one to Watford. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Watford win. Don't think I need to see any more about that. I think West Ham can certainly get the result, but I'm going to go for Watford here. What should have been the 5:30 game has already been called off from a Leeds perspective. So that is a null and void game. It just looks like, I think it's a combination of both COVID and injuries. It's well earmarked that Leeds have had massive injury problems all year. All season, should I say, rather than all year. And that combined with a few COVID cases, they can't field a legitimate team to play against Aston Villa. So that is called off. And on to this evening's game, the 8 o'clock kickoff, and Leicester and Liverpool. 2 days removed from the Boxing Day fixture against Man City. you got to feel that Leicester are going to be a little bit tired, and obviously Liverpool have had the break. They're going to be coming in fresh, full of confidence. I don't quite know how the Robertson suspension works. Like, is Robertson now suspended for this game because the previous game was called off? I don't know how much difference that would make as well. I'm not sure, because Tsimikas is a very good deputy for Robertson. So I actually don't know if Robertson's suspended for this game or not. But regardless, I'm going to give this one to Liverpool. I'm going to go for 3-2 though. I think Leicester still have the means of hurting Liverpool, but over the course of the 90 minutes, like I said, with only a day's rest, you got to fancy Liverpool to get the job done in the end. But I see Leicester putting up a good fight. Should be a very interesting game to watch that. On to Wednesday, or tomorrow's games, we start with Chelsea and Brighton. Again, if it wasn't for Chelsea's win against Aston Villa, I may have been a little bit more conservative. But I'm just going to give this one as a 3-0 Chelsea win. Brighton did obviously play very well against Brentford. But the way Chelsea play, they should be too much for Brighton. I'm expecting, like I said, their confidence to be back up after that Aston Villa win. And I'm just going to give this one as a 3-0 win to Chelsea. A win they're going to need because their next 3 fixtures are Man City, Liverpool and Spurs. So the other 3 teams at the moment right on, well, in and around them at the top of the league. On to the actual league leaders and the other game on Wednesday evening. We have Brentford and Man City. And I don't really think there's much more I can say other than I'm going for a 4-0 Man City win. Brentford shouldn't be able to lay a glove on them. Maybe if they can get a couple of those long throws fired in, it's going to be one of those nights away at Brentford, you know, like the old evening games away at Stoke with the long throws and the balls into the box. But if Man City can keep the ball in the fridge, Brentford aren't going to be seeing a lot of the ball, and I think they just have way too much quality for them. But it'll be interesting to see how Brentford do. It's their first taste of playing against Man City at the top level. So we'll see. They're going to be up for it, but the way City are playing right now, I can't see anything than a massive City win once again. So we move on to Thursday night. We start with Everton and Newcastle, and if it wasn't for the fact that Wilson and St Maximin both look like they've picked up, I'm going to say minor muscular injuries, it's a serious problem for Newcastle, even if they miss 2 or 3 games. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably make this my 2-2 prediction for the week. But I'm actually not going to have a 2-2 prediction for this week because of that, and I'm going to edge this one to Everton. Rafa Benitez getting the painful win against his former club, I think, in the end. Who knows though? Everton have obviously been really poor recently. They're under massive pressure, especially at home right now. And Newcastle might be able to capitalise. It's just like I said, I don't see where the goals are coming from without St Maximin and Wilson available to them. So 2-1 Everton. And finally, we end with my club once again, Manchester United, against Burnley, who are a bit of a bogey team, certainly at Old Trafford. I seem to remember Tom Heaton making save after save after save. I think we had something like 31 shots and didn't score. A few seasons back, obviously Heaton now back at Manchester United. I have to go for a Manchester United win here. Even if I'm not being biased, we're a team that should be beating Burnley at home. But given the fact that under Ralph Rangnick, we've played 3 games and only scored 1 goal in each of them. Sorry, 4 games and only scored 1 goal per game. I'm only going to go for a 1-0 win here. I do worry for us right now. I really do worry for us right now. Considering the players we have available to us, they just don't seem to want to put the effort in. Be it for Ollie, be it for Ralph, it's really not looking good. The bunch of whinge bags, as Gary Neville called them last night. But I have to back them to get the job done here. They need something to kickstart the Rangnick era. I hope it's more than 1-0, but I really don't think it will be. And that will conclude today's predictions. And sorry to end it in such a negative tone, but I'm sure anyone other than Manchester United fans will be laughing at me right now. So drop a like, if you are enjoying this series, do not forget to comment down below with your own predictions for this week, and I will see you again on New Year's Eve for the New Year's Day game week. Thank you very much for watching.